Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of today, Sunday, July 8th through Saturday, July 13th. A couple things that go on this weekend. Tomorrow, Monday the 9th, is the feast day of Our Lady of Itati. So that is an Argentinian celebration of Mary. So some spiritual energy for you. The 10th, Jupiter goes direct. That's huge. A lot of things should be changed. Of course, I went over at length what that means for us in the general reading for anybody that wants to check that out. And on the 12th or 13th, depending upon where one is located in the world, the new moon in Cancer and partial solar eclipse. So for some of us, it will be Friday the 13th. But for others of us, it'll be pretty cool because it'll be on the 12th equals 3. And there are a bunch of other 3s associated with that new moon and partial eclipse. So it's going to mean something for you either way. Also on the 13th, Friday the 13th, on the Hebrew calendar, it is the first day of the month of Av. Av or Ava or Abba. Can be spelled with a V or a B, meaning father. So it's like the month of father, which is pretty cool. And during this month, a very special, like ancient Hebrew holiday falls. And I won't go too much into detail about what it is, other than to summarize it in that it is a day set aside, recorded as far back as to King Solomon as being a day specifically dedicated to soulmates and finding one soulmate and uniting with one soulmate. So, like I said, I don't want to give out too much because I've been getting messages lately about, I don't know, I guess I have to, in some cases, I'll have to come up with different ways to reach you guys, or to get the message across. I don't know, but I've been feeling in different things about keeping some of the frauds out of some of this information. And of course I can do that by limiting it to my Patreon subscribers, but I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to share it with you guys. But it's like the angels are telling me that like too much of the information is being manipulated by people who otherwise would not know about it at all. Or not for me. So I don't know. That's some stuff I gotta figure out. But not today and not right now. Right now we're gonna get into love. And I am going to begin with an opening message from the Journey of Love Oracle cards. And that, speaking of ancient holidays, it's going to be the Ancient Ones, and it's card number 52 equals 7. I spoke a lot about 7 in the past couple of weeks, and if you saw the general reading, or when you do, if you haven't yet, you'll see how much 7 comes up this week for us. So this is not surprising, but I will go, when I saw that, I knew that it was our card, but I will go ahead and see what might have been our card, because sometimes I just use the top card, and it's Yin Yang Lover for like the 3rd week in a row. So that's interesting too. Card number 8. 8 and 7. Super important, as you guys know. So yes, I'll read the Ancient Ones from the book. Your spiritual growth is now acknowledged and witnessed by the heavenly ones that see beyond time and space into the reality of your soul. Do not lose heart if your spirituality is not fully acknowledged, understood, or appreciated by those around you in the physical world as yet. And we saw this come up in the general reading too, particularly for the masculine. He got 2 Hierophant cards, and that can often have to do with whom we're surrounding ourselves. They're not aligning with us. They're not on our vibration or frequency. So we need to make adjustments, even if, just temporary. Sometimes we just have to take a temporary leave of people, and we come back together when our energy is healthier for one another. Though they may love you, it's most likely that their vision is still bound by time and space, and they can't see into the very real gains that you've made in the subtle worlds where all true spiritual growth begins. So ancient ones reach out to you and bring this message. Quote, "We see you, beloved. We honor your growth. It is real. It is palpable. And soon it will manifest fully in the physical world with breathtaking beauty. We honor your light. Namaste." This oracle brings guidance that you have taken a leap in personal growth. If you're still testing in the physical world, trying to translate your inner changes into outer experiences, take heed. It's only a matter of time before you see reflected back to you your physical world, what you have become within. And you will see it mirrored back to you in the eyes of those around you as well, in sacred relationship too. Here's wishing you some sunshine the day after the rain. Here's a hug of understanding when life seems filled with pain. Here's knowing that emotion, like wind, blows many ways, and our course will seem more certain with the dawn of each new day. So that's from where we're beginning today. Awesome. And with the dice, dirty movie yet again. This came up yesterday in the general reading too, and I felt that somebody was communicating with someone online. It may have been a very specific message for 1 or 2 people. I don't know. And I actually did have somebody comment already on the general reading that they've been communicating with people online and had heard a song indicating they shouldn't be, like 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's what it was. So it may be only for her, but it could be other people too. You need to stop with the online conversation with whoever this is. Eat cake. Could be somebody's birthday. Happy birthday to the Cancers out there celebrating this week. Also could be weddings. I've been talking about people getting engaged, people getting married among us, around us. Sure enough, one of my clients, woman for whom I've read, she got married last week. So also forget it. They're the same. Still says forget it. Dirty movie. And eat cake. I'm going to begin with the masculine's perspective this week and the energy of forgiveness with Kuan Yin from the Universal Love Oracle, opening right away to soulmate. I like where this is going, right? Forgiveness between soulmates. I was just talking about Soulmate Day that, is part of this month, the Hebrew month of Av that begins on the 13th, Friday the 13th. So that could be coming in. This reading goes through the 13th or 14th. Soulmate. Wow, moon tree, representative of sacred marriage, could also be coming up because of the moon transit we'll be experiencing this week, the new moon in Cancer. The moon represents the sign of Pisces in the tarot, but our moon, Earth's moon, rules the sign of Cancer. So I feel like it's, a double whammy of Cancer energy, or moon energy, however you want to look at it, both. Also, this card is about the marriage between heaven and earth, in addition to the marriage between 2 souls. But how beautiful is it to have it opposite soulmate? So we're not talking about karmic here. This is soulmate opposite sacred marriage. And retreat brings in the energy of air and earth, and also Venus herself, ruler of couple of air signs, Libra, Gemini, and Earth, Taurus. Retreat guides us to spend some time in nature, to open up the flow of abundance and the ability to both give and receive in a healthy way. And I'd say maybe give and receive love, or to surrender, moon, feminine energy of surrender. Retreat and expectancy. That may be why we need to retreat. This meditation may help us to let go of our need to control the situation. Let go of our need to sort of try to dictate to the universe what it gives us and when and with whom. We don't get to decide those things. I mean, we have free will to an extent, absolutely. But if you're talking soulmates, that's not somebody you pick. That's somebody, you know, who your soul chooses because the divine has enabled it to do so, right? So it's not something we have a choice in that respect. We can choose to act on the feelings that we have about it or not, but not who it is and not when the connection happens. We can't force these things. And trying to do so will block your abundance, leading you to need to spend more time with Mother to open up the flow to healthy giving and receiving of abundance in all forms, including love. Retreat. And Trilogy of Light. The card about us, our desire and journey, like always and ever toward being nearer and dearer to the universe. That search for oneness and wholeness, just more and more, becoming more one with the universe. The overall energy is more of this very watery sort of energy, along with a little fire and infinity and 8 karmic energy, maybe perhaps represented by Jupiter. This could be an illustration of Jupiter in Scorpio with all this, like I said, watery energy and fire converging upon each other. The moon, more indication of our need to surrender. And to what we're surrendering in this case would be the divine guidance, following that which we receive. Divine feminine, masculine about the feminine, himself, union as a whole. Overall, what the masculine would have the feminine do this week as it relates to love toward the union, what he himself is willing to. And what the universe would have the two to do, surrender, contribute toward the union, and the outcome here. Divine feminine, transience. So we continue on this path of healing. And a lot of us are really feeling it. Just the things that are coming up that we're having to deal with. Some stuff we thought, we were done with, that has revisited or we've revisited, brought on by the retrogrades likely, at least in my opinion. And some new stuff, but we're working through that and looking forward to the energy that, well, each new day brings, but certainly that the new moon and partial solar eclipse will bring, and then subsequent to that, that the full solar eclipse the following month will bring. Masculine about the feminine, earth connection, abundance. So feeling the energy of abundance as it relates to the feminine and his connection to her. That means love, that means value, right? Worth. That means the need to connect on an earthly level. And maybe specifically in the 3D, a desire to connect in the 3D, in the flesh, as they say. And to focus on earthly matters, which could be there, like making some sort of plans moving forward together, How? You know, what is it that we want to do and how? Earth is about our foundations, our stability. How do we manage our day-to-day? And this is, this week, the masculine's focus as it relates to the feminine. Brings in the energy of, again, earth signs, perhaps air too, or Venus in general. Masculine about himself. Healing sounds and more water, more moon, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And also air as it relates to communication. There's a need, not unlike the feminine, to continue healing. And he sees it, recognizes it. And that's what he'll be doing. And maybe it might specifically be focused on the sacral chakra and trying to heal that area. Doesn't have to be, and can very well, or should very well, include, when it comes to this card, some sort of audible, media, motivational speaking, your favorite genre of music, binaural tones, whatever. And if you can do that, if you live in an area, I mean, right now, I think it's warm. It's summer, at least in, North America. I don't know about everywhere around the world. But if you live in an area, at least now, that is conducive to it all doing this outside, and sort of handling both at the same time, spending time with nature and mother, and in the earthly realms, and getting in touch with the higher realms through your intuition and through sound, then I recommend that. About the union as a whole, transmutation, the purpose of all this healing and all this trying to get grounded and stay there, like come back down to earth, maybe where we've been full of ourselves and we floated up, like hot air does, right? When you're full of hot air, you're full of bullshit, ego, fear. So it's time to come back to earth and turn any of those negative emotions, like fear, like ego, like pride, into love through this healing. Which again may be why the masculine seems to be focusing on the sacral chakra this week. Feminine in full surrender and overall healing, head to toe. Taking all that negativity and turning it back into love, which enables further ascension and progress, spiritual growth, that the opening messages talked about. Also, this brings in the energy of fire signs, again, maybe connected to Jupiter specifically, especially sitting here next to the water. Jupiter in Scorpio, or Jupiter going direct on Tuesday. Overall, reflection. Part of this meditation and healing process, especially for the masculine, it looks like, because this card sits pretty much above, right above this one, and it's the same woman. Same woman, same colors too. This reflection, there's a need to, look on our past, look on our future. I talked about the masculine wanting to make plans and goals. So this is looking toward the future. And then looking around at our present. And then that's how we figure out, what and maybe whom or even where do we need to remove from our life that we may have brought from the past? What should we have brought along with us that we might want to take an opportunity to go back and get while we're doing all this revisiting with the retrogrades? What don't we have, or haven't we felt, because we have everything. The idea of abundance and manifestation is to speak in the present, I am, I have, I can, I will. what is it that you need or want to bring forward with you into your future? Again, how does this get set up? What are your ideas for that? So again, not a mistake that this sits here right atop these two cards. That doesn't mean the feminine doesn't have some reflection to do as well. Again, hers, I think, is more self-focused, and that's okay too. In fact, that's more than okay. It's awesome. Right? Self-love is like a first and very important step on this journey. And this may be the same woman again, too. Getting this head to toe healing here, which will allow her clarity for reflection. What would the masculine have the feminine do this week toward the union? Message from afar. Communication. That can be a healing sound too. A phone call. A telepathic message. A visit in a dream. A letter. A card. Email. Text. Maybe a voice text or something that has sound. Also, of course, message from afar, bringing in yet again the energy of the fire signs, but also on an individual basis about connecting with the universe. So that can still be telepathic messages, downloading information from the universe, new insight, enlightenment. What is the masculine himself willing to do this week toward the union? Heaven on earth. He's letting something go. It might be this negative emotions, his pride, his ego. That might be out the window this week. Because a lot of times when I'll pull this card, I did a couple of client readings this week, so I mentioned it there. When this card came up, a lot of times it's emotion that I feel is onto what we've been holding. A heaven on earth card is about our need to let go of something with which we do not resonate anymore, no longer aligns with our vibration. Something or someone, can be a relationship, can be emotion, but a lot of the time when I pick this card up, I feel that it's connected to emotion. It's resentment, it's regret. It is the inability to forgive. It is the inability to seek forgiveness, or the unwillingness because of pride, because of ego, because of fear, rejection, fear of responsibility, commitment to yourself, basically, but fear of commitment in general, period. Fear of the unknown, fear of change. If I let go of this old thing, I'm so used to this old thing. What's going to happen then if I don't have it anymore? But the masculine willing to do that this week, to vacate the space so that it can be filled by something far better that the universe has in mind. What would the universe have the two to surrender, let go of, contribute to the union this week? Inner child. And again, those emotions that I was talking about could have a basis here with the inner child. Could be that far from your past, something with which you grew up. You've been holding on to it for a long time. And again, that can make it more difficult to let go of some of these things. You're just used to it. You've become accustomed to it. It's a matter of convenience. It's a matter of comfort. Even if it makes you otherwise uncomfortable and you're miserable, it still just feels safer than about what you don't know. Also, this is about communication. Maybe specifically with I wasn't gonna say specifically with sounds, but I was moved to look over at that. I was going to say specifically through some sort of electronic means, including telepathy, because this card, or at least the stars, on this young lady, her throat chakra, her third eye chakra, her crown chakra. They're very specifically located atop these communication centers, right? From where we speak, from where we see what others may not, from where we think what others may not, and communicate in those ways. Star represents a sign of Aquarius in the tarot. It's about dreams coming true, wishes being granted, prayers being answered, but also Aquarius rules technology. And so that's why I said maybe email, text, dirty movie, right? FaceTime or something. And what would the outcome be here? Forgiveness, with which I started. Wow. Let's check things out from a perspective of the universe, begin with freedom. So I just ended talking about Aquarius. I'm going to talk about Aquarius again, the freedom seeker, and the has this desire to just break free of the chains and things that are binding us. Maybe connected to the energy of the Saturn retrograde in Capricorn, Pluto retrograde in Capricorn as well. Opening to passion, some more of this fire energy too. Fire on air. Could be reflective of the fact that Mars, the red planet, ruler of Aries and as well as Scorpio, retrograde right now in Aquarius. Oop, that freedom card just jumped away and exposed children. So could be giving birth to new things. All right, this 3 coming through like kind of Empress like. Could be something about a party of 3 and perhaps involving children. The need to break free of that specifically. Passion, and to pursue your passion instead. Could be about a relationship that you need to walk away from, that it does involve children. You have children together, but the relationship is otherwise dead. And like I was just saying, you've been afraid to leave it because convenience, even though you're miserable, you're just accustomed to being there, and that there is safe, and there doesn't require you to be vulnerable and to take a chance and to have faith. So it's just easier than pursuing your passions. But this week is about taking that chance anyway. Oop. And here she is. That represents that woman or man maybe. Or just energy that we need to leave alone. Brunette female represents the karmic energy for me in this deck, and the sign of Cancer. I guess on a more positive note, because again this week is heavily about the sign of Cancer. Cancer sun presently, and Cancer new moon coming up as well. And Cancer again ruled by the moon, not in the tarot, but real life. Here's another instance of the moon. And a guide to maybe, again, pursue your passions as it relates to dating. Ask your person of interest on a date. Or say yes if they ask you. You know, without bringing up the past or the attitude you had about, whatever, the last time you guys spoke. Or, you know what I'm talking about. Opening now to Ice Queen. I didn't mention this, did I? This is also something that's going on this week. Is it the 11th? Maybe the 11th or the 10th? Or the 9th with Our Lady of... Oh, goodness. It's definitely this week. I know that much. The 9th. Venus enters Virgo. So she leaves Leo. I was just reminded of it with this big cat here. And she enters Virgo. This Ice Queen represents air signs and can be fire also, or the fact that there's so much air and fire connecting right now. Again, Mars retrograde in Aquarius, Venus currently in Leo until she leaves, as well as Mercury also in Leo. Passion cut. And it's courting man, so half of that date we just looked at. Overall energy is children, and this potential party of 3 also again can be representative of the new beginnings, giving birth to new things. Fertile energy, youthful energy. It's vibrant, it's alive. We can pursue stuff. Divine couple, recent past, near future, masculine's higher self, blocks to the union. The feminine can do this week what the masculine can on our own. With further advice to both from the universe, and like with what the universe will absolutely help us this week, and the outcome. Friendship. So this could be very much so about the energy of Virgo, and again, the earthly and stability and a foundation, a healthy foundation on which to continue to build. And you see how they're building even with the hands here. And surrounded by all of this yellow, which could be bringing in the energy of the sun and Leo yet again. Uriel, represented by yellow, Archangel Uriel. His name means God's light. God's light is of course the sun. The yellow also representative of the solar plexus chakra, where many believe our soul is located. That's why we get gut feelings and stuff and butterflies in our stomach. People say that's where our soul is. So this is a really healthy foundation on which to build. And then you see also there's a wedding band like ring here, indicating that the friendship, very likely developing into something more. So that's where the divine couple is this week. Recent past, open relationship. And like last week, I said I usually feel that was that somebody's client reading? I don't know. I've been so many readings lately. Oh my goodness. Not complaining though. I'm happy, but I think everything's becoming one big reading blob. Anyway, typically for ascended relationships, right? Divine beings, twin flames. Open relationship for me typically means just like living your life out loud and in the open, because we're already in open relationships, right? That's what they are. They're not 3D committed relationships, or not your everyday typical one, at least. And so their foundation, they're based in this open relationship sort of style as it relates to the 3D. And so when we're able to live how we want and freely and co-create our relationship and our lifestyle, then it becomes, a different kind of open relationship. But I think it may be kind of literal this week, for the most part, or 3D related for the most part. That the recent past, there was some party of 3 stuff. Not necessarily voluntary, but party of 3 stuff. The near future, however, boom! I had no idea that was going to be there, but I just knew it was going to be better. I knew things were going to be better, and that's what like the energy of like the 10 of Swords is all about. Yes, you've been having a hard time, struggles. Nobody wants party of 3. Well, somebody may, but most of us, particularly the feminine, don't want party of 3. But we have to have an expectancy without the unhealthy type of expectancy that card represented, and making demands on the universe. We have to have an expectancy of just things always being better, an expectancy of the universe's and God's, if you believe in God, promises being fulfilled. If we are taught, if we read that goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life, if you can believe that, and you expect that, then you know that things are always going to be better. So that's how I knew that this was going to be better, although I didn't foresee or even attempt to union. But on top of that, just want to point out the yellow yet again. And when the sun shines and stuff, and it illuminates everything, makes everything better also. But also the wedding band here and here. So this is definitely representative of the, divine couple here. Masculine higher self. Work. This is connected to the energy of earth signs, which we just saw in the last spread. The spread where I did it from the perspective of the masculine higher self. And what card did he choose but earth connection, right? So earth energy, work, being in the now, in the present, in the earthly, putting in effort, whether it's related to relationships or just life in general, his actual job, all of those things. And then expecting reward. So there's another means of expecting things to get better. You're expecting reward once you have done the work, because that's how that works. We reap what we've sown, right? You plant seeds, they grow. That's something we can expect in a healthy way. This also, again, brings in the energy of specifically maybe Capricorn, which is sort of opposite Cancer. And I talked about the Capricorn Cancer axis a bit in the general reading this week, for those who want to check that out. But also Taurus and Virgo, of course. Again, Venus enters Virgo this week, tomorrow. Blocks to the union. Dating queen and party of 3. Sitting here right next to open relationship, where I was feeling that party of 3 was happening. Okay, boom, yet again. Maybe specifically a fire sign. What the universe will help us with this week: long distance. Bringing together, it could be bringing people together physically. There could be travel, to see one another or something, or to connect. It can be that connection that we saw coming via technology, phone, email, text. It also may involve a party of 3. The reason that there is separation or long distance between us. This ship out here, they were waiting to come in with 3 sails. But up here at the top, there's only 2 flags. So this represents like the partnership, and this represents this party of 3. This can also be connected to the energy of the retrogrades and being made to revisit certain things. Water energy coming in here, fire, air as well. Could be connected to situations or people impactful upon you this week of those direct signs. And also on a super, super positive note, about going the distance, the universe helping you to go the distance, right? Supporting you in your efforts toward that, your work. What else can the feminine do on herself or for herself? Blonde female, which is the representation in this deck for me of the divine feminine herself. So that's what she can do. Be you, be true to you. Pursue your passions. This is a fire sign. She's not blonde. She's a redhead. Very fiery and youthful, and could be Sagittarian-like, and connected to the boost that we're going to get from Jupiter when he faces direct. But whether it is connected to Jupiter or not, this is about, you know, you being true to you this week. As it relates to this friendship and you being part of the couple and you being part of the union, I think it's, again, about being lighthearted, right? Youthful, light, airy, free, and not hung up about the old stuff, the block or the past. What can the masculine do here? Soulmate. This is about pursuing the soulmate, sitting here next to union. Very nice. And the outcome, courting man. We started out with him too, and we're ending on that note. Again, ask your mate or your love interest out on a date, or if they ask you on one, say yes, or, you know, initiate communication. If there's long distance between you, you can't go on a date. Initiate communication. If you get that gut feeling that you should, don't fight it. Don't let your pride or ego slip in, or fear slip in and talk you out of it. Or if you're on the receiving end, receive. You know, be blessed by it, rather than annoyed or, you know, moved into a space where you get an attitude or something. Now what I want to do is, I did those readings about separation and contact, or from each perspective, and like what we were going to go in July and August, or what we could expect to some things. But I didn't do it as it relates to love specifically. Now these cards aren't necessarily about love either, but they are about the soul's journey. In fact, that's what they're called, soul's journey cards. So I want to do one of those spreads using these, beginning with empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation and opening to humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Humor and peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. Isn't this what we saw in the masculine's spread? The transmutation. Peace and discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. Peace. Service. I feel good when I can help others. The overall energy is success. I know that there's no greater goal than to love. So it's a little late, but with what energy do we enter July? What is something that the universe will give us positive to move us forward the month of July? And with what energy will we leave? With what energy are we beginning the month of August? What is something we can expect the universe to give us? And with what energy will we leave? And then an outcome here. This spread doesn't look like the other, but it's randomly guided. Oh, it's 7 cards too. That wasn't on purpose either. It's also an H. Maybe it's for Horus, the sun, Virgo. I don't know. With what energy that we begin the month of July? Doubt. Oh, we did. Remember doubting Thomas? That was last week, the first week of July. I read about St. Thomas the doubting Thomas in the general reading last week. I released the need to know all the answers. And with what will the universe gift us this month? Happiness. I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. I see air and water and earth here too, specifically as well. And with what energy will we leave July on that note? Friendship. How awesome is that? When I just said we were starting, the divine couple was beginning this week, represented by friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Wow. With what energy are we beginning August? Regret. I know that I can't change the past. So some feelings and thoughts may be brought up because of these other emotions. And again, the retrogrades and everything, and the moon and all that's happening around us. What's a gift that the universe is going to give us to help us with this? Gratitude. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. With what energy will we be leaving the month? Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. And I kept saying this month. I meant this week. Lord have mercy. But I guess I have to leave it at that. The month. I said the month of August. That's not what I meant to do. And the outcome. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So looking at the whole process and experience from a different perspective, one that is more positive, and understanding why such a thing as karmic lessons and karmic experiences and karmic relationships exists. And that allows us to release some of this hate and stuff too, because many of us have like just not good feelings about the other person or persons with whom our divine partner deals, for them too. We don't have to love them or be in love with them rather, but a love and respect for the position and role that they play in the situation also. It leads to the outcome. Like we can't get there without that experience and without them. So if you look at it like that, it may help. It may help you to be happy. I don't know. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the reading this week. I'm going to go to the advice now. And then I'll be back another time, probably with the moon reading. That's probably what's next. I know we did things a little different. And just hope you guys liked it, or didn't mind at least. From the animal tarot to the masculine, further advice for you is Princess of Spring, which is the Page of Fire or Page of Wands. Energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative is the Page of Wands or the Princess of Spring. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about are fluttering your way. Personal growth and broadened horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. This can absolutely be about Jupiter in Scorpio, no less, with the two butterflies here. There's a butterfly on this crown. I love it. I'm going to have a crown like this made for myself. And the butterfly here. Butterflies for me are representative definitely of the energy of death and rebirth, or at least metamorphosis, transition, transformation, which is what Scorpio is all about. The Princess of Spring, as you guys know, represents for me first and foremost of the fire signs, the sign of Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. So this is straight up Jupiter and Scorpio for me, but can also be about Leo, of course, Aries, and any other zodiac sign, but maybe a specific fire sign involved. And this can be connected to that other spread where I said a fire sign energy may be the third party, or there may be a fire sign energy. There's very likely one that is part of the party of three. I'll put it that way. From the animal tarot to the feminine, the 10 of winter. I talked about this too. I said the 10 of swords is that one where after we experience this, we got to expect things to get better. We got to expect the ace to show up after we finish with the 10. The end of a career path, project, or relationship brings feelings that are mixed of joy and sadness, or relief and disappointment. Put aside your fears about the changes and trust that a brighter future awaits. They said it more eloquently than I did, but that's what I meant. Masculine. Romantic feelings. What are you pursuing this week, or who? Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And you've got the energy of the Page of Wands to do it with. For us, feminine, children. Your love life is being affected by children. And these can be our children. These can be the masculine's children. And again, I feel that it is... where children come into play is where we're hesitant to make decisions, and understandably so, based on how we feel it will affect or impact the children. This can also be about us and our childhood and our past and some of the things with which we're dealing, sort of like that inner child kind of energy. From the Universal Love Oracle for the masculine, dreams. Dreams came up in this reading too. Dreams coming true, wishes being granted, prayers being answered, the energy of Aquarius. Also dream communication we spoke of. And goals, dreams in that sense, making plans, setting goals. So I think all of those apply now, masculine, and it's just reminding you of what your homework is this week. For us, feminine, physical body, and more of this yellow and orange, sacral chakra and solar chakra, which came up already. This is on what we're going to want to focus. It may be some just straight up regular old exercise too. Even if you do already consider yourself fit, just to help us with vibration, right? And get some positive endorphins going. Aww. And true love for the masculine. Again, this is what you're pursuing. The feelings are real, and this is what you're going after this week, what you're desiring to. So don't let fear get in the way. Feminine. This sort of goes with what I was just talking to you about. Adversity. All right. And just acceptance of karma is, exists. And it has to be experienced. It has to actually be lived. It's not something that can be averted. So we might as well look at it from the most positive way possible. And just be accepting of it. Plus, it's good sometimes. There's good karma too. People hear karma and they get all like nervous. We don't have to unless we haven't been, living right. And if we haven't been, then that's another guide to fix that. That's another message telling us to fix it. From the Soul's Journey Oracle, masculine, peace. I am a being of love, and I release all negative energy. More of your homework for this week. And lastly, feminine for us, service. I feel good when I can help others. And you can help others and yourself by being understanding and respectful of everybody's role and position, even if we don't like it, right? I hope that you guys have liked the reading, though. And if you did like the reading, please actually like the reading. I always forget to do this. I really got to get better at it. Yeah. YouTube making constant changes all the time. Please actually like the reading if you like the reading, and share, subscribe, and all that stuff. I appreciate it. And I'll be back soon. I think, again, like I said, with the moon reading, new moon in Cancer. Namaste, angels.